Hello again, everyone listening.
Hello? We're back. Sorry about that.
Do you really think if I had a choice in the matter, I'd be holed up in this old oak for hundreds of years? Well, maybe I would at
I
that.
still forget who this lady is.
Quick
But
Vera.
at least I'd have a
Cook
choice.
Vera, that's it.
I could have moved to Paris or Barcelona, gone to the movies, eaten some proper cooking, fed the ducks in the park, and seen how the world's been getting on. I'd have had a choice. But I have no choice. I need to stay. Keep an eye out for trouble here. And trouble just found us. I watched what happened on the pewter. When they blew a hole through the world in Tokyo, it stirred up trouble here.
Yeah, you can see the
I've
hair
been
on our
having
model
my
stretching.
hands full since.
They're getting a little far into the game, and
Deathless.
little bits are starting to peek through, I think.
Lilith always
Name
knew
drop!
Yeah.
and I always knew how to put a stop to her shenanigans. I'm not sure what she's up to these days, but I'm sure it's no good. No good at all. By the time I got here, Lilith
So,
already had her
did she
little
leave?
Lilith is the
touch
mother of
of
vampires.
She made them immortal. That's her power. But I
Oh
made
no,
them
she's speaking
bind
about a
them
different group. Sorry.
for as long as I stay around. But they're straining against their bonds now, Lilith's servants, all of them everywhere. We'll just have to start here with the Deathless while there's still time. You don't have to drink that. It's execrable. Thousands of years, and I never learned to cook a good pot of tea.
Oh,
So we are going to go visit a ruins of a monastery and do some stuff, and I kind of derp around here trying to do a side objective, and that's pretty much all this video is. Next video we will be in the forest, and we will meet the Romani, the Draculesti. They're fun.
yeah, they're pretty great. Like, I want to get a look at the stone room, see if I can make out. It's probably. There's a
It's not Roman. We see Roman later.
Oh yeah, no. If it's a monastery, it's late Roman at best. And out here, by the time Christianity was really setting in, they were in no condition to build monasteries. Like, I think I've said before, they pulled back. Actually, I don't know if you've heard about Sponsian.
I don't believe we talked about him, no. We talked about the origin of Romanian as a language,
Yeah.
and some about the settlement patterns of Rome. How it's one of the easternmost Romance languages. But other than that,
Yeah, technically not the easternmost, because I think there's some A-Romanian that's scattered a little bit further east in the southern Balkans, but it's the easternmost big one. But like, so there was a point in the 200s where the Roman Empire came the closest it came to collapsing before, the Western Empire actually collapsed. And it reached a point where there was a guy in the middle, and there was a guy who ruled Gaul and Britain and arguably Spain, who was a pretender, and there was a guy in the east who controlled pretty much the Asian part of the empire as like a protectorate, because he had the only functional army in the area. And there were these three challenging, like, dueling emperors ruling different parts of the empire at the same time. And they just found, while this was going on, there was another emperor, and his name was Sponsian, who was ruling in Dacia and had controlled modern Romania. And they thought up until recently that we've had coins with his name on it for like a century. We thought it was a forgery, and it's not. Turns out there really was a pretender emperor, and as of reporting, that was just confirmed a couple months ago, maybe. So there's always new developments in the field. But yeah, by the time that, and looking at that stonework's definitely medieval. I don't actually know enough to be able to pin it, and even if I did, I'd probably be wrong because, you know, designers.
And even after all that, there's no telling that they actually looked at what Romanian stonework in monasteries looks like.
Oh yeah.
So
I mean, you know, it isn't all that difficult to do that research, but you know, this definitely looks Western to my eyes. But again, I'm not an expert, and it's entirely possible. Like Romania at the time, like in the there was a substantial German population in the area, and they were imported for, among other things, their knowledge of building techniques. Though I think their knowledge of building techniques was down on the list. Mostly it was like farming and engineering. So it's entirely possible that stonework in the area is pretty similar to what you find in medieval Europe, what we think of as medieval Europe. But actually, I wish cross would probably be the cross on that chapel, or the monastery rather, or not, mausoleum, probably give me a better idea, but I don't know if we'll get a good shot of it.
looks like
That's an Orthodox cross, I think. That's weird.
yeah.
So, I don't know.
Well, the Orthodox have monasteries and the like.
Oh, they totally did. They did, but this is Romania. Or the Transylvania, at least. This is Catholic.
Oh, okay, I didn't know.
But, like, yeah, Romania is... At least it was last I checked. I could be wrong. I swear... I wouldn't be surprised if there was a Orthodox church, or if I'd managed to screw them up. But...
So we actually got a comment on one of our Blue Mountain videos recently.
Oh, we did?
Yes, and they said, they edited it. I won't speak of what the original comment said, but the edited comment is, love your LP. It's a shame this didn't get more, this game didn't, the reboot didn't give more content.
Mm-hmm.
Which is a shame, and it's pretty much in maintenance mode.
Yeah. Oh no, I was wrong. Romania is predominantly Orthodox, I think.
Yeah, I was about to say, I was pretty sure Eastern Europe is mostly Orthodox.
Well, technically, what got me is Hungary's Catholic. And Hungary controlled the area at the time, but I don't know...
Hungary's only Catholic because the Austrians made it Catholic.
Oh no. Have you ever heard of Saint Stephen?
He's the patron saint of Hungary, I'm guessing?
Yep. Converted to Catholicism in 1000, precisely. If you see a image of the crown of Hungary on any historical king, you'll see a crown with a cross on the top, and the cross is kind of bent to the side. Because at one point I don't think that was literally St. Stephen's crown, but like a crown of one of his immediate heirs. And at one point they dropped it on the cross and it bent, and they just kept wearing it. And now that's part of, I think that made it onto the Hungarian flag eventually. So that's just part of Hungary's like identity now.
I think I think I've mentioned this in one video, but the entire funeral of the last Hungarian emperor who died in like 2013, the last Austro-Hungarian emperor, because he renounced the throne and Austria-Hungary dissolved, but he remained important in politics, including European politics. He was one of the first to call for a united Europe.
Yeah.
And when he died, they gave him a proper monarchical funeral. And it's really weird to see like the flags of all the component states of the late empire and the prime ministers and presidents of these countries walking to hail Darem Seakrantz.
Yeah. It's something. So ends the Habsburg monarchy. But it's not like it's. I think the latest claimant is still a major politician in southern Germany. It's not like they went. You can't kill the Habsburgs.
Oh, you can. I mean, Tsar Boris III of Bulgaria. He he was prime minister of Bulgaria.
Yeah, he was. Yeah.
I know a Bulgarian, and he was talking politics, and he said, like, his puppet party that was like pro-imperial recently got more seats in parliament. So it's like it's back from the political wilderness, and he said it was really weird.
That is very strange. I've always wanted. I understand that he. My understanding was that he just took power and then sat down as like a conservative leader, but I don't know. You never really know what these parties are going to actually look like. But I'm looking it up. Turns out part of what's confusing me, Transylvania is the heartland of Catholicism in Romania. So there's a
Ah,
huge Catholic minority that's focused in that area. And it looks like, I mean, I think it's, judging by the location, that area is predominantly Hungarian, if I remember right, which would explain it. But the that so because there's a lot of like if you look at a map of ethnic composition, there's this part in eastern Pennsylvania, right in the center of Romania, that has a ton of Hungarians living in it, and that overlaps with the Catholicism, like the map of Catholicism in Romania. But
the only reason I know that is because I play Hearts of Iron 4, and Hungary and Romania always go to war, and Romania gets his ass kicked.
yeah, it's I should know that. It's frustrating because like religious politics in the Balkans, they're awful now, but they
They
are.
used to be worse,
I
is
mean,
the best part.
yeah,
They're awful now, they used to be worse.
I mean, they used to be like they used to be even worse, but they were also abstract, I guess. Like there were, there was the level of violence was more expected, I guess, and now it's just, that's just kind of awful. I don't know if that makes any sense, but
There is a Serbian poster on Something Awful, which I am now banned from, called My Dad. And I once made him leave a thread by saying something very stupid about Yugoslavia
okay.
and the Balkan Wars. And he said, that's it, I give up, and just left the thread and never came back.
Hmm.
And I feel really bad about that.
Oh my God, there's yeah, that's one of the things. That's especially the South Slav. That's one of the things that you don't wade into unless you are an expert or a local. So that's, yeah. So, what I
Okay,
was
now
going to, what I was gonna,
there's a secondary mission in here, one of the little ones, and I derp around in here for a long time after I finish this mission.
something I did want to bring up that I actually saw, but I got derailed from. I think while you passed some of those archways, you may have seen there's like that arrangement where, there's big stones around the edge, and then an even bigger stone at the very top of the entrance. Do you remember what I'm talking about?
Yes?
That's
Yeah.
I recognize that specific piece of engineering, and that's very 1200s Western European. Um, I can't say for certain how far that did or did not spread. Just that I think that's like determine when I say Gothic architecture, you know what I'm talking about.
You're speaking of architecture of the Goths, not the style.
Nope. Or the style. No, I am talking about the original Gothic architectural style, and not even the thing that was like revived relatively. There was like revived Gothic in like the 1800s, but the original stuff in the 1200s that the cathedrals was based around. And that's no, I don't know if it's actually Gothic, but it's roughly contemporaneous.
Uh, I will tell you something. Yeah, okay, that was literally pretty much the end of all the content in this area. I just have this one quest and I fuck it up. What you're supposed to do is leave this area and you'll see like a camera on the ground and pick it up but I'm just derping around the church because they gave me this huge circle. Quest design.
Yeah. Especially once you get off the main path or when you get to like the funny because the story at the end picks up. Like the story gets better as you get closer to the end, but the design
Oh yeah,
doesn't.
Tokyo goes places. Like the end boss of Tokyo is some shit.
And
Yeah,
and meanwhile,
big shit happens in
yeah.
Tokyo.
Meanwhile, the game design starts falling off once you get the further you get in.
Well, you should just be really glad it's not the original Tokyo because they did this weird color-coded damage system.
Oh no.
So you could only do damage to certain enemies if you used the right kind of damage. They all had
Oh.
like shields and you had to kill the shield and then kill them, and it was just awful, which is why I'm glad I've only played Tokyo in the reboot where none of that is there.
Mhm. I wish that they'd come up with just a. I wish that they'd introduce this with like more sensible combat. 'Cause I've said it before. I liked the original. I liked the original combat. I did not, however. I literally played it with a podcast on in the background between cutscenes. I was not here for the combat. It was just something that I thought was kind of neat looking, and I wish that they'd implemented the space thing, the positioning thing better. That would have saved it, I think, but they didn't.
I will say one thing, I have been playing a shitload of Lord of the Rings Online, and we are not doing that. We are not doing an LP of Lord of the Rings Online. No, we are not. But I am also hoping to put up an LP of Redneck Rampage with some guest commentators on this space at some point. Also, I saw Cocaine Bear today,
Oh,
and that
did.
is a great little campy monster flick.
That,
Falconeer, do not see it. It is gory.
huh. Yeah, I was. That's such a B movie concept.
Oh, it was gloriously B movie,
Yeah,
but it was also very kind of gory.
but I
So
mean,
I know you
yeah,
have an issue with that.
but like I did look up, I looked up the true story it's based on, and the bear just ate a bunch of cocaine that fell out of a plane and died, and that's all that happened. But it does make a way more interesting story to think about what a coked up bear would look like.
Oh no, it was really good, and it had a bunch of like B movie sidelines. It was super good if you like B movie monster movies. It also had a trailer for a movie you definitely can't see, which is Evil Dead Rise.
Yeah, but like I don't know. It depends. There's some like what was that? Well, there was a I usually don't like zombie movies, but I did like Zombieland a lot, so I had to skip.
My dad loves Zombieland.
I had to skip like the
But
first ten
no, you
minutes.
couldn't see Evil Dead Rise. There's a scene where a woman eats glass.
Oh, yeah, no. I think I
Yeah, it's definitely it's not campy. Like they went okay, it's supposed to be campy, but they did all the special effects non-campy.
yeah.
So,
I don't know. I liked Zombieland, and I liked what was that? Love Bites or something? The zombie romance movie. Do you know what I'm talking
oh,
about?
Warm
Warm
Bodies.
Bodies. Yeah,
Warm Bodies was phenomenal.
yeah. That was a great
I
movie.
advise everybody to see that. And another good one is the 2016 version of Krampus, which my dad loved because he loves practical effects and hates CGI.
Yeah, like for something like the Warm Bodies, I just looked away, literally looked away from the screen until at various points until the screaming stopped, and I was fine. Like, but as long as
Yeah,
it's
you
not
can't really
prolonged.
do that with an evil. You can't really. You can do that with Cocaine Bear, but you miss like they did it slapstick sort of.
Yeah.
Like there's this scene where a lady accidentally shoots a guy when he's trying to shoot the bear, and the shooting is really gory.
hmm Yeah, I mean, if it's,
So
it depends. But
Additional assignment received. Initializing.
can,
yeah, this is one of the things they do a couple times in the game, which is just follow the thing and pray that you don't forget where it's going to go. We did this with a crow back in the first area, or a raven, I can't remember which.
You are leaving the mission area.
Um.
Oh,
What else is going on?
is this the mission I
Because this.
remember?
No, we already did the hanging tree mission.
No, the one with the letter?
No, that's next area.
Okay.
Believe me, I will tell you when we get to that mission.
I love that mission because it's so bullshit, but we'll get to that mission.
Lilith's children are rising.
Thanks, Owl.
I don't remember. Have you ever read Worm?
Worm? No. Too dark for me.
I haven't because like I like the concept, but I've heard it described variously as people make the wrong decision for like 100,000 pages.
Yeah,
And I'm like,
one of those things.
yeah, maybe not.
Like, God, people talk about,
You've been
you know,
following
is
me.
it just me, or have people stopped
Why is
complaining
that,
about
eh?
kids these days not reading anything?
Never mind.
I'm not seeing
I know
that
why
like I
you're
used to.
here.
I don't know if you've
Do you know
picked up
anything
anything
about
similar.
these computers?
No, I
Given
don't
my
really see that as a complaint anymore.
I don't know why. I think, well, I mean, there's people who would have complained about are
Even a
complaining about
wrinkle
significantly
can be
more
fresh on the inside.
political things, but
When I was born, we had miracle machines that make this look like a Stone Age.
It is a Stone
thing.
Age tool. That thing looks like
And
it's
they
from
were
the
a damn
80s.
Yeah.
sight easier to use too. No, just leave it. I'll
It's
see
only
that
green.
yeah, it's
And you've
what
got
is
important
how
matters to attend to.
It's an 80s Eastern Bloc PC. How do you even get spare parts for that?
yeah, like it's shocking that it's still running.
I'm afraid I don't have much in
I don't
the
know.
way of
Eastern Bloc
answers.
stuff is like,
I'm
I
going
mean,
to tell you
not
the
all
same
Eastern,
thing
like
I
hashtag all
told the
Eastern
others.
Bloc, but like not all Eastern.
This
Ask
is
anyone
all
from Germany about a
before.
Trabant
Oh,
and see what they tell you
oh,
about
there's
Soviet engineering.
levels. Like
Like-
some stuff is just shit, but if it's put together properly, it lasts for fucking ever.
And that's also true for Western stuff, in fairness. It,
That is true. It's like a Toyota.
yeah, there's,
My dad had a Toyota pickup truck in like the 80s, and he sold it. It had 100,000 miles, and the guy who bought it's like, "There's nothing wrong with this car. Why did you sell it?" And the answer was it was a two-door pickup, and he had just had me. He needed a four-door sedan.
Yeah.
I never could make much sense of the man. But then he is human. And I'm not. He left it for someone like you. Someone who could stand up to her.
I don't think we count as human
I've held on
anymore.
to it for 500 years.
Human-ish.
Humanoid.
I have a long memory. That thing isn't all.
Why does he grin like the Grinch?
Yeah.
He grins like the Jim Carrey Grinch. What the fuck is up with that face?
The Draculesti have suffered much in the 5 centuries since his death, but they are still around. In fact, they have recently come back. I've seen them in the forest. That lovely girl who uses her looking glass to spy on the vampires, and the strapping circus boy. But the one you really need to speak with is Milosh, their king. He came to pay his respects when the Draculesti arrived. I liked that. Though he did speak too much and too loudly. Not a trait you share with him, I'm happy to say.
No, he's just leering at you. That's all he's doing.
If anyone knows what Vlad Dracula had prepared for Mara's inevitable rebirth, it'd be the Draculesti. The news of her return are disturbing. They herald something dark. There is great power in these mountains, and Mara seeks it. It was
You think-
never simply what's on the surface.
I can't wait till I get to the mountains and get to show you the area they never speak about, where there's nothing there but a single, like,
Vampire.
from what I remember, there are no missions that go there. There's just a single, like, honeycomb info thing.
That's neither here nor there. First, you should put your mind to that.
Do you
thing
think she was
in the
originally
midst of-
human back in the Third
Now,
Age?
who?
Or,
I'm going to
and
see
like
if I
us,
can't
she's just
get this
post-human,
computer
or if
to
she was
do
something else
what I
entirely?
want it to do.
I think she's post-human.
Yeah, me too.
No, you got to use a command prompt, lady.
Yeah, I think just tapping random keys is not going to help you. They just get a smartphone. So you can do better computing on a smartphone than on that thing.
My mom loved the iPad. She was not a computer person, and then we got her an iPad. Oh my god, she loved that. She'd play little games on it all day.
Mm-hmm. Oh, there she is.
To come to this valley, it is like a holy pilgrimage for my clan, for the Draconists. Milosh, he says this place is our homeland, but he was born on the roads, just like all of us. He means that our order began here. The Order of Dracula, the dragon.
Little dragon, technically.
And that's it. Now we just go to the shadowy forest and bring the ears to Milosh. That's me. This is me just making sure I've done everything. All that's left are the on-map dungeons, which need a group to do, and I don't do, and the actual dungeons, which I will do on my other character at some point. I'm several dungeons behind at this point. What, did it stutter?
Stuttered. I think though it's going as usual now. So
Yeah, that was me tabbing in and out.
I see.
What I want to know is where the hell did they get these giant wheel track contraptions, and how the hell did they get them in this fucking valley?
I think it's like a video game valley. It's like, in World of Warcraft, there's no way that those are actually the sizes of those like societies. Because there's no way that they
Mm-hmm.
could support the sort of shit they throw at each other in the RTSs. It's just scaled down. So like, there's plenty of, there's tunnels leading back and forth. There's plenty of other access areas that aren't immediately apparent on the map. But now we're moving deeper into Transylvania.
And now we'll be doing more werewolves. This area is pretty much werewolves, ghouls, and ghosts. Oh, and a new enemy type, mushrooms.
Perfect.
Evil fungus. It's like that meme you see of the guy pointing the gun at
Yeah,
the mushroom.
it's there's so many there are so many Tumblr jokes I can make based on mushrooms and being immortal. That will probably have to wait for another
Milosh is
time.
expecting you. Don't let your eyes wander when you speak with Emilia. Milosh will cut them out and serve them to you.
This is me just debating whether to take this or to just expand this video out, and in the end I decide to just go to the abandoned tunnel and then end it. Next should be an hour-long video of me doing shit in this forest. And guess what other recurring enemy we meet here? Cerberus! I mean, no. Yeah, the Orochi group is here
Oh,
too,
good.
and they're all dead.
Oh, good. Yeah, I mean, of course they are. That's what Orochi are here to kill other people and then immediately get killed. That seems to be, man, they must have really good hazard pay. Like there comes a point where, no matter how omnipresent in a conspiracy organization you are, word has to get around in your hiring pool.
And that will be that for this. I just pick up this morning light and peace out. So thank you for tuning in.
And see you all later.